going on, guys? Back at ARW like we always are. Pretty much live at this place. Gonna be doing a couple of things today. Kind of getting back to our shop update kind of deal. This will be a little bit of that. The EM1 does have its tranny and motor back in it. This is with the new K24. We got everything buttoned up, new Type S oil pump, windage tray, timing, all that stuff. We are still working on figuring out the way that the motor sits. It's sitting at an angle using the mounts, so we're trying to figure out the combination from that. As you can see, we made this exhaust, so it actually turned out pretty cool. I'm really happy with the exhaust. I can't remember if we ever talked about it in any of the other videos, so excuse me, hoping to wrap this up pretty quick. This has been an ongoing project and been through a lot of changes between us and the owner, just as we encounter stuff that we feel like should be addressed, and the car's here over the winter. So it's like, while it's here, we might as well fix stuff or change this or upgrade that. And usually upgrades take time to produce money, or, you know, time to talk it over, think it over, make a commitment. So it's just been an ongoing project, but I think we see the end in sight, so we're pretty happy with that. Our motor room is finally starting to clear out a little bit. We're getting caught up on the motor side of things. We got a tranny opened up here. This is actually a B16 trans. I don't hardly ever do anything with B16, and the B16 and LS seem to share a lot of the same parts. So what we are looking for is, if anybody watching this happens to have a B16 third gear. So we have a third gear, we have a fourth gear. Both are in pretty beat up shape. Both need synchros. We need the hub and the slider. If you happen to have those, that would be cool if you wanted to part with them. So yeah, that's we still have a K-series motor that we're waiting to get some parts from. The owner, he ordered them. This is a military guy, and he ordered them, and then I think he went TDY for a little bit. So we got to wait on him to get back, and then we can get this assembled. I think he's going to bring the car here, and we're actually going to set it up in the car and get a bunch of stuff done. It's for an RSX that's going to be turboed, so that'll be cool. This is the motor out of the blue EM1 that we're going to try and make a complete whole motor again. They did have that set up using Accord rockers that were ground down to, oh, that's not it, it's this one right here. You can see if you want to run it on just the big lobe, you have to like clearance so the rock, or the lobe of the cam will fit, and this is what was on it. This is one of the things that we talked about. We made the change because it was going to ultimately produce kind of crappy drivability and idle quality and things like that. So we ditched this setup, which is basically locked in the big lobe, and we put the Type R cams with the regular rockers and everything in it. So the car is going to have really good drivability, idle quality, things like that. So that was something that we kind of pushed for. So, and yeah, I mean, other than that, that's kind of the basics of where we're at with the shop. We have a ton of projects. I will show you. Come back out here. You guys have obviously seen the LS300Z. I'm not sure why there's stuff piled on this thing. It shouldn't be taking up refuge like that, but we do have a 4G out of a Galant VR4 that is getting a freshen up. It got a timing belt, balance shaft belt, taking care of some cleaning, things like that. This was just overall pretty nasty, so sometimes it's just easier to pull it out of the car and clean everything individually, and you can get the bottom, and then the car's outside. So yeah, still have a back lot full of cars and things like that. So But yeah, I think for what's kind of going on in the shop, that's going to be about the size of it. Kind of what's going on. So, yeah, and then I guess we'll go take a look at the Project EK real quick, and I'll show you around that and what we've done with that. It hasn't been much, so don't get too excited. And just like that, we're outside with this thing. This has already been kind of a fun little project. You've seen some of the videos where we've been doing some of the work on it. One of the cool things is we did get some OEM Stanley headlights for it on both sides. So huge shout out to Jesse for swinging those by and hooking us up with those. Haven't really done anything mechanical. I've just been driving it and getting good gas mileage out of it every day to and from work. The interior did get substantial cleaning, so I'm sure you saw in the other videos how nasty this thing was. A little bit of stuff in here, but yeah, everything's clean. We did get some just cheap floor mats for it because floor mats can make the difference. Yeah, so everything's nice and cleaned up. Got my I'm just a weird guy. Everyone that knows me knows I'm weird about weird things. I have an addiction to flashlights, which is weird, and then also shift knobs. I'm just weird with shift knobs. This is actually out of a early fit. I found this at the wrecking yard and thought it was super cool, and it's actually what was in my drag car, and probably never come off that. So now the interior is cleaned up. So anyways, what we're gonna do is my wife and I are gonna go out to dinner tonight, and I figured it'd be fun to maybe run home real quick and grab the GTR. That car hasn't been started or ran in probably 2 or 3 weeks. So I figured we would just maybe bring it here, clean it up a little bit, go out on a date in a nice car instead of a smoking Civic that is probably making like 40 horse right now. So probably be a little bit fun for both of us. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run home, grab the GTR. It'll be funny to see what the cold start is like because it's been sitting for 2 or 3 weeks. Ethanol, all that stuff. So it'll probably be a little bit hard to start, but shouldn't be bad. So yeah, let's run home and grab that. This thing fires right up. You can tell it's way down on power and it smokes. So all right. So yeah, let's got you all set up there, and like I said, we're gonna run home real quick and grab the GTR and then come right back. So alright, got it home. This thing is filthy, so you gotta forgive me a little bit. And we're still working on cleaning up some rooms and moving a little bit. So what we're gonna do is see how well this thing cold starts. So let's get into it. Let's make sure the music's turned down, the heater's turned off. All right, I'm not even gonna get in it, so. So not bad. Like I said, it's legitimately been sitting for at least 2 weeks while we've had all this snow and everything, so I don't feel like that was too terrible. So yeah, we'll let it get warmed up, take it back to the shop. I'll probably break out the foam cannon and everything. It just sits underneath this this carport, so it is filthy. So yep, here we go. All right, we're back in the GTR. It's been a few weeks. You saw the cold start on it, so yeah, like I said, we're just gonna go ahead and drive it back to the shop and start cleaning it up a little bit. So like I said, just thought I'd let you guys come along for the ride, see kind of what it's like. I'm actually surprised it started as easy as it did. And I've been driving a Civic with a pretty terrible feeling clutch, so it's gonna take me a minute to get used to the clutch. So there'll be no surprises if I kill it. It happens. So let's see. I don't know if everybody knows what's going on with the GTR. I know we have had some new subscribers and everything. So just a basic rundown on the car. It's a stock motor that's been freshened up. Brakes that squeal. But yeah, a little, or probably 10 months ago or so, I pulled the motor out. Cylinder 6 was showing that it was like low on compression and stuff, which is kind of normal for GTRs. It gets the least amount of cooling and things like that. So I pulled it out, freshened it up. We did new bearings, new rings. Basic things you do on a bottom end. Did some oiling mods in the oil pan, used the Tomei oil baffle. Kind of right now I'm regretting not going to like a bigger oil pump or doing a bigger sump or anything like that, because the car's making enough power now that it needs it. But other than that, it's got Garrett GT28 60-5s, journal bearing, so it makes it a little lazy, but it's stock intercooler. It does have some aftermarket piping on it. It's got a tile blow-off valve on it, stock intake manifold, stock individual throttle bodies. I mean, there's a lot of stock stuff in the car. Stock tranny. It's got a spec stage 5 clutch in it, which is a little harsh. Pedal's a little heavy. The one that's in here is substantially old, not in old like used, but old like an early design. We did the same one in Brian's car, and his pedal feel is so much lighter. The way that the clutch engages is a lot better. So we just assumed that I have like an older style clutch. They're the exact same clutch, same part number, just mine's probably like 6-7 years old, and his was new. So yeah, it's on ethanol. It's got a Hellcat, a Marlboro Hellcat 525 pump in it. Stock lines, rewired with a relay, and the battery's in the back, so it's 8-gauge wire from the battery to the fuel pump with the relay. Bosch 2200 injectors, radium fuel rail. Nothing real crazy with the car. It's on a Haltech Elite 2500, tuned by us at ARW. You saw the cold start on it on ethanol. I don't feel that's too bad. I can live with that for sure. The turbos are just out of steam. It won't make any more than like 21, 22 pounds. In the summertime, it'll make about 21 and then taper down to about 19 pounds. That's just what the turbos are good for. Like, I've physically wired the wastegates shut so the turbos would put out as much as they could put out. And forgot how much fun this car was. I haven't driven it, and definitely the last time I drove it, the weather was still kind of bad, so I wasn't able to beat on it. That felt good. So yeah, that's just kind of the basics with the car. There's nothing crazy going on. It's a very simple car. We just have a lot of fun with it. It's definitely when me and me or the wife are going out for dinner or date or something like that. If the weather's good or something, this is definitely the car we like to kind of have fun in and drive. It's just cool. Definitely one of the coolest cars I've ever owned. If not the coolest car, I will say it was pretty cool owning a low 9-second Integra. I don't know if this beats that as far as coolness, but depends on who you are. So here we are back at the shop. You got to go for a little ride in the GTR, see some cold start, got to see some Civic action. Try and make a video. You'll probably see in this video I'm gonna put some we tore Chris's motor. Chris Sams, he has the green Civic hatchback. We tore his motor out of his car Friday night and got him set up on a B18. There'll probably be some footage in here of that, of us when we actually get the oil pan off and the windage tray off and we find the bearing. I think he'll have that on his channel as well. I'll put a link in the description. Go over and check that out. He did a lot of stuff. It was a lot of fun. We usually have a lot of fun when Chris is around and shenanigans, and we probably drank more than we should have while doing this. That's why we got so burnt out so quick, is when you're drinking it goes from working to BSing and having a lot of fun. So things started going slower as the alcohol got consumed, but it was still a lot of fun. We got the car up and running. We'll have to do some touching up on the tune, no big deal, but he's driving it, and he has a good winter car back now that hopefully winter's over. Hopefully we can just be done with all this snow crap. So yeah, here we are in the GTR. I'm gonna throw up some of the video from Chris's car, and that'll probably be about the end. So you'll have to forgive if I put other stuff. I have footage that may make it in here that may not be explainable, but if you watch it, it'll probably interest you or be funny or something along those lines. So yep, let's check out some footage of pulling Chris's oil pan off and looking at some roasted bearings and some shop shenanigans. And yeah, shout out to him for helping us out and working with us on some YouTube stuff, and then letting us be a part of his car. So yeah, like I said, I'll put a link to his channel in the description, and yeah, let's get going on that. Oh, and another thing real quick, guys, I did want to give a shout out to Josh at Vivid Titanium. He hooked us up on some material for the GTR that I wanted to show real quick. So this is what we got after I consulted with my titanium specialist. Josh knows what I'm talking about. It's funny. So he hooked us up on a lot of these little fasteners, just the little things that make the car look a little bit better. We've still got a lot more to do, and we're working on him on what sizes we need for some stuff, but it just enhances the, kind of the appearance of the car. Places where you have to have some nasty bolts, we take those nasty bolts out and put in his hardware. So it's pretty cool. I will also throw a link to his website in the description down below. Be sure to check him out, give him a like, and yeah, he's doing a lot of cool stuff with titanium. We're going to be using more of his stuff for customers' cars. We've already used some that I think I've shown before, but if I do single turbo this, he'll get some of his hardware and things like that. So yeah, shout out to Josh at Vivid Titanium. Hit him up and get some cool hardware. I mean, there's lots of metal in there, so it's got to be one of them, but
There's Paul cap.
Oh, I heard it there. Oh, there it is. Yep, number 3.
Dude, I win.
She beat. Yep, it was number 3. We got it for you.
Think that's the only one?
Yeah. Right quick.
Let's look at it. Let's give her the looks.
Where'd you go? Over there.
Bust out the hams. She's spun all the way around there.
Oh yeah, stacked them.
Did it? Oh yeah, it did. Well, right on top of each other, dude.
That one's sharp.
Oh yeah. She said no more.
Crank's garbage, for sure.
She smoked.
Yep, number 3.
She got the smokings.
Did you just put that?
Well,
Yeah.
we know we didn't take it apart for nothing now.
Well, now you know.
Now we know.